President Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine buli lusha abadde akyogera kino ekigambo Agino Museveni yenga abadde abiyita byakusaaga byamannyo wenu era nga ajerega Kyagulanyi mbutajja kusobola yasaaga kakati nakituukiriza naye katusoke ndooza tutandikibwe tuti tulabe akatambi kano then tuloke tugende mu maaso bulungi.
Am I audible?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, actually I've heard you talking about Toko. What did he do?
So like there was a picture that was going around, and he was in State House apparently, right? And it's kind of any moment we see anybody who's on the right side, right, of history and is smiling or is shaking hands or doing whatever with a dictator. For me, I personally, I am done with you. You're as good as dead to me, honestly.
When did that photo happen to show up?
This week.
This week, actually,
Saturday,
those guys, those guys are trying to engage Museveni to host him on Agora discourse.
Yeah.
So that Ugandans can engage Museveni over corruption.
Okay.
And they wrote a letter to him, to the office of the president. Perhaps that's what Toho is trying to finalize. We should give him a benefit of doubt.
Yeah.
And actually, they posted that letter that on 1st of July, Agora Discourse wrote to the office of the presidency, trying their level best to talk to Museveni, actually to be hosted, just like you saw Ruto hosted a Twitter space, and when his account was so much bagged, it happened to be hosted by a known Kenyan who hosts what? Twitter spaces. Perhaps that is what they are chasing for. Am I understood?
Clear.
Yeah, they are trying to force Museveni onto a Twitter space so that you Ugandans, you can ask him whichever question you feel like about corruption. That's what they told us. I normally engage them over Agora Discourse. We dissect Ugandan issues. So that's what perhaps he's trying to do. Don't say that he betrayed you. No. They want to bring Museveni to their Twitter space, Agora Discourse. That's what I wanted to clarify. What is the topic of discussion? And I've just chipped in.
So the topic of discussion, we were talking about the general elections that went on in the UK this week. And we're trying to compare them with our general elections in Uganda. We talked about how peaceful and how the internet was not switched off. There was no any killings or anything like that. And the winners and the losers, they shook hands and they carried on, and the country carried on as normal. There has not been any blood spill or anything like that. And they were wondering how comes that is not emulated in Uganda.
So here in Uganda, we have an electoral autocrat who manipulates the civil society organizations, who manipulates the electoral commission, who even goes overboard by manipulating his opponents. Okay? You saw the way it treated him, Gundi, Bobi Wine and Senyonyi when they actually going for their nominations. So, what happened in the UK? In the UK, they have that culture, respect. They command that respect for themselves. It is in the UK where we saw a leader resigning simply because he violated the COVID-19 regulations. In Uganda, Luther Change, who came up with them, and Evelyn Anite, a minister, even the LSA minister, they violated the COVID-19 regulation, but never did they step aside. They are still ministers. And mind you, UK is a colonial master of Uganda. They cannot be on the same page. What Museveni does is to suit the interests of UK, and the UK cares less about the human rights violation, okay, about the election malpractices in our elections. What they care about, does Museveni fulfill our interests? Is he taking care of the refugees we are giving him? That is it. But in Uganda, for actually, even if we participate in elections, but they are not credible. When we go into elections, there is always a parallel tallying center manned up by SFC. Its major role is to manipulate election results in favor of Museveni. That cannot happen in UK. It cannot happen in UK simply because they have certain standards of discipline they believe in. They respect their nationals. They make sure that they conduct free and fair elections, which is not the case here in Uganda. And Bobi Wine always makes it clear to us that he understands election cannot overthrow Museveni out of power, but they involve themselves in this Ugandan election to use that opportunity for election campaign to mobilize Ugandans for a future noble cause. Thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you very much, Comrade Lukwago. Comrade Mimi, sorry, Comrade Demi. Mute.
Hello. Well, I think I start on the sour note. My experience on Twitter, I've always known Itoko as NRM. And when I saw him onto this anti-corruption campaign, Ugandans jumping with him, I kept quiet because Ugandans, whatever you say, if they don't agree, they feel as if you are touching in their eyes. That is how I've ever known him. And I was wondering how he changed. Me and him, we've had exchanges before. And my Twitter space timeline can exonerate me on that. I think we have to be wary. Wherever we go, there will be people who belong to NRM, who come from NRM. But it is how we execute our duty. If it comes on our side for corruption, I know somebody different. But my comrade in the studio, the host, just don't be put off by people like that is the end. No, we're gonna need each other. We are all Ugandans. Somebody might come and fight corruption from another side with bad intention, but we fight corruption. So be it. For me, I'm just open-minded. That's me. But other people, I understand, my brother, that for you, that is, I respect your what? Your position. Second, Comrade Iga, I think you have a problem whenever I say something. When I say election, they are death trap, it's the truth. When I say we shouldn't go, I don't mean you are not going to go. I don't have any final answer on that. The only person I don't disagree with is only God. If we are talking about democracy, we should respect each other. I used to believe in election. I used to urge people to go in election, but having seen this, we don't have electoral reforms. Museveni selected the people. The Abakama is still there. The army is still partisan. The UPDF it is. So I'm saying if we have an alternative not to go to election, we should use it. We should use it. Lwaki tetukozesa omukisa? Lwaki tetuteekawo embeera? Lwaki twegomba bannakenya? ebintu byonna nga sista mini bw'ayogedde bisoboka. Ono omusajja Keir Starmer becoming the prime minister wa UK. Yajja is a lawyer barrister nga bamugaya n'agenda mu debate ne baga oyo debate nze byaba lawyer tasobola na kubeera politician tasobola na kubeera prime minister. Look at him. Bakugamba wherever there is a will there is a way. Naye bwe munaabanga mushatinga down people ababa bagamba si mutima omubi. Nze sikyogera mu bubi. Nze mu kulonda sijja kulonda ekyo nkyogera misana. Sigenda kulonda nga Museveni akyali president sibikkiririzaamu. Abaana tuba trainings abagenda okukuuma akalulu. Abagenda okwesimbawo tubalina. Sente ze bagenda okuwaayo millions 3 bazirina. Empapula bazirina. Era tudde billion talina mpapula. Tumusondere. Are we prepared? Ky'ekintu ekikulu. Are we united? Be abducted or murdered? Watuwanga tugenda so big. Naye nze akalulu akange si kubiraako tuteese tugende tuyiribe. Lwaki tokkiriza? Bale kumpa omukisa.
Yes, thank you very much, Comrade Demi. Always a pleasure speaking to you. And Comrade Iga, nsubira byonna bye boogedde obiwulidde. Now, yeah, pick up the phone. She's only a phone call away. Yes, thank you very much. We've got Comrade Sebuganda Richard. Please unmute and speak to us.
Yes, hello everyone. The name of the person in the campaign, I think it was, I beg to make a correction, it's Anthony Native. Then went to the state, and there have been allegations, and they are not allegations actually. He went there, and he has been trying to defend himself recent, I think the past 2 days. Then I beg to quote the previous speaker about the election saga, election and the sham elections that are being organized by the Electoral Commission in Uganda. I think I beg to contradict a bit. I don't think we need to shun these elections because that's how best we can. I think we can use the elections to boost the revolution because there are very many programs, and I think it's about empowering the community. There are issues. There are a lot of weaknesses we can attack the dictator, and one of them I've been thinking about keenly lately is internet shutdown, because in the previous elections he used it as a tool to keep the electorate having little information about what's ongoing. However, as we turn to 2026, you realize there is a lot of engagement on internet from Ugandans, social media, TikTok, Facebook, we have Twitter. There have been a lot of activities that have taken place because of social media, and I feel like it has become part of the Ugandans. I did a short course about internet shutdown, and I think the best way is to ensure that the natives know the rights of the internet, and then also how to mitigate this, having VPNs, things of a sort, and then we drive the campaign of internet shutdown so that to ensure that the internet is on. The moment it tampers with it, there is triggering the emotions of the very many people in Uganda. I feel like those are amongst the moods, but we should put a revolutionary mood before the election. As we go into the election, we can build on that, the results and whatsoever is taking place to drive a revolution. I feel like it's one. Then amongst the anti-corruption peaceful demonstration, well, it's a very good initiative. And I don't know how the Kenyan brothers did it. I don't know how they have come to mold such a very good activity that has been globally recognized and the natives have taken it up. I feel like that is still lacking in Uganda, and I think we need to do revision. We might not be exactly as Kenyans, but we need to know not exactly the people who are out. And I don't know how the Kenyan brothers did it. I don't know how they have come to mold such a very good activity that has been globally recognized and the natives have taken it up. I feel like that is still lacking in Uganda, and I think we need to do revision. We might not be exactly as Kenyans, but we need to know not exactly the people who are outside, but even this young generation of ours, we need to know how they have come. We need to be on ground and in touch with some of these guys who have driven this Kenyan thing. And I think that all revolves around empowerment. I beg to submit.
Thank you very much, comrade. I was hoping you're gonna tell us how we can get around this internet shutdown. If there's any type of equipment that maybe we could use, because what I don't want to happen is the next general election, the same thing will happen where like he will shut down the internet for like 2 weeks, right? As if we didn't know that he was going to do that. So is there any kind of technology or software that Ugandans can start embracing now so that when that time comes, at least we have a way around that? Like, is there something like that, comrade? Hello? Okay, I'm going to pass the mic on to Comrade Joe. Comrade Joe, unmute and speak to us.
I don't know if Comrade Madways is ready. Is Joe ready to speak to us or?
Yeah, yes, Marie.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But,
Hi.
So, Comrade Joe, the mic is yours. Yeah.
Thank you. Do you hear me?
Yes, we do clear.
Thank you very much, Comrade Ismail, and thank you very much, Comrade Docus. Thank you for the resilience. I think I don't know if Midways is he might be at work. If he's not able to speak about the campaign, I can speak about the upcoming campaign, which is due to take place on the 23rd of July. That is the march to Parliament, but also the same kind of protest will be replicated across the different areas in Uganda. That's the campaign. We've put out some posters, and I've posted one in our chat room. The idea is to start to roll out activities or protests on a daily basis. Initially, this campaign will start tomorrow, as a matter of fact. At 1 o'clock, we are urging the people to stop whatever they are doing so that they protest in terms of either blowing their whistles, vuvuzelas, or banging pans, tins, or any other objects that they might have in their in their vicinity. We also urge the people driving to hoot continuously. So I think after 2-3 days, we want to roll this out to be taking to be happening twice a day. That is morning hours and evening hours, and ideal around 6 o'clock. I think that will create a buzz. So what this will do, what this achieves is, first of all, it will have a mobilizing effect. When people get involved and they make that protest. Second, we want to create a connection, across the country. That will also help people to stop and reflect and really express their displeasure at what is happening. Thirdly, I think this helps to dispel the fear factor. We know, given the past experience of, people have been brutalized, people have been arrested, tortured, and, so there is the fear factor. So this will slowly help to dispel the fear factor, such that when the 23rd comes, people will be in tune. And fourthly, it will create the momentum. I think as we do this, people will identify with what is happening. So when the 23rd comes, people will be ready to go out and march to Parliament. Yeah, the fight against corruption is we are fighting against a very, very big problem. As a matter of fact, corruption is an existential threat to the nation state, and this calls upon everyone, to really join the bandwagon and fight against corruption and join this campaign, because no one is spared, and that is why we're saying this is a cross-party it's a cross-party campaign. It is a cross-party social movement that engages and invites people of different political affiliations. So it is not limited to opposition, but to all Ugandans who really want change. What will it achieve? We of course, ideally one would have wished to overhaul the system, but maybe it is a good starting point. And I think incrementally we can begin broadening our demands, from here, starting with Anita must resign, and we can broaden that to include other demands. And finally, I think let me comment on what has just happened in the UK. We welcome the Labour Party, taking over, and I think the prospects look much, much better than it has been in the past, for the simple reason that the Tory party was really populated by many politicians who are of Ugandan descent and who had a very big interest in perpetuating the dictatorship and maintaining Museveni in power. I think I see an opening, and let's encourage our brethren in the UK to continue to engage. I've seen Lamy David is the foreign minister, and I think that is somebody we've tried to engage in the past, although he wasn't very responsive. But I think given more pressure, I think these are people we can do business with. So Museveni's world is going to, I think, shrink even more. And I really think once if we get it right, we could get Museveni, we could get the UK government to sanction Museveni. Yeah, I think that is what I can say for now, ladies and gentlemen. Comrade Ismail, I yield the mic. Thank you.
Thank you, Comrade Joe. As eloquent as always. Yes, we'll continue to engage the new government taking over, and we'll constantly remind them of the plight of Ugandans. I've got Comrade Henry. I think he wanted to finish off his point. Comrade Henry, unmute and speak to us, please. Henry, we can hear you. Okay. Comrade Godfrey.
Yeah, thanks very much, Ismail, and to everyone who has submitted. Now, the issue with the internet during an election, we should go back to the notion that before we didn't have the internet and we could do elections. Yeah. The most important thing on election is to vote and guard the votes, and during the counting and know the results. This is the rights we demand, and for people not to vote and go home and think that's done. We need to drop the fear during the elections. Yeah, you vote. You can go do whatever you want. During the counting, you have to be there. It's one day. No one should intimidate you by saying, when you finish voting, you go. No, I've voted. I need to know the results. I need to be there when they are counted, and I can document it. Now, when they shut down the internet, that's fine. But after the internet has been open, or even before that, people will know who they voted for, how many votes when they were tallied in that particular area or whatever zone. And this is a hard evidence. And then we have the right to demand what we voted for after the counting, not to rely on the Electoral Commission, the crap they came up with, which was unacceptable. And it was shameful. So if people had insisted, went on the streets to say, no, you are announcing the wrong results, we don't agree with you, things would have been different by now. But if we don't drop the fear, we'll have the same thing again. Now, I'm not saying we have to rely on the vote solely, but voting gives us credibility and the actions we take after, which means we've voted, you have not respected our vote, we go on the second phase, with the protest, and then we demand justice. This means we are protecting or enforcing what's in the Constitution. That's the people power. I would want my people to vote, and when that vote we've won it, to declare the president or those who have won peacefully. Now, Mimi was, I can't remember whether it was Mimi who was talking about people not coming out and questioning why you got so many MPs in one particular area. Yet this was done for gerrymandering reasons. When you know no one else wants you in the other areas of your illegally, he partitioned the areas to get more MPs. So you go areas which has got more cows than people, and you got more votes than cows. So how that works out, I'm not so sure. But that's the reality in Uganda. Well, we go with that. Even if they double their number in those areas, they realistically they can't defeat the whole nation. And we hope this time people are more stronger, because we are going to be stronger. Yes, we spent a lot of our savings last time, and this time we will manage. We don't have to. What we urge our people is not to be bold. In campaigning, you don't need people to buy you salt, soap, or things like that so you can vote them. Then they are not accountable. The only money you want for someone canvassing for votes is for transport, for himself, People should not be bought, and we should educate our people. You don't attend a rally just because you heard someone is going to give out to underpants or things like that. You are attending to hear the message. You don't have to be there. If you heard the message on the radio or on the internet, you can go about, do your thing, know when to vote, go and vote. This is what I'm thinking anyway. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, Comrade Godfrey. We could look into like hardware, like for example, Starlink. We could use Starlink to basically Starlink uses satellite technology for the internet, so that when they do switch off the internet, at least we still have connection to transmit the data. I'll now give the mic to Comrade Nanyonjo, and then after that we'll move on to Comrade Mimi and then Comrade Lukwago. Comrade Nanyonjo, unmute and speak to us, please. Unmute.
Here, I'm speaking to you from Kenya right now. That's where I'm living. Kumulamwa gwe tuliko gwe tutandikiddeko oba ne we tuli we nabasanze kuba nakajja okubeegattako ku Zoom. chairman wange nga connectinze tubeere wamu tuteeseze wamu naye nga ndi munnabyankyukakyuka ndi ku mulamwa kwe tutambulira kwennyini naye ku nsonga gye tuliko olwaleero oba nga bannaffe bwe tuzze tulaba ebintu engeri gye bitambula nze ku lwange ng'omuntu nga tuddako katono emabega okusinziira owekitiibwa pulezidenti nga bwe yali yatugamba nti singa ffenna tukwataganyiza wamu ne tuwulira okuteesa kwaffe kwonna nga bwe tuba tuzze ne tuteesa ng'abooluganda oba bannankyukakyuka ne tugamba nti kati tugenda kulwanyisa kino kye tugenda okukyusa era omulamwa nga bwe guli mu ddiro nti twagala kuggyako kinnakyemalira. Nzijukira bulungi emabega ennyo pulezidenti bwe yagamba nti agenda kufuuwa ffirimbi ffenna tufulume tutambule oba tulina abaana bato babatya okusinziira ku miliyoni ezo bwe tuli abawagira enkyukakyuka eri mu Uganda. Ndowooza ennamba ntono nnyo eyavaayo. Lwaki? Okusinga twogera nnyo wano ate ne tumaliriza nga tetugenze mu bikolwa. So bakomuledizi bannange nze ne nteesa nga ŋŋamba nti singa tukwataganira wamu kubanga bangi nnyo abazze nga batulaga nti bannankyukakyuka naye ng'ate batuyita emabega ne batulyamu olukwe. So ngenda kuteesa nga ŋŋamba era ng'ate nina ekibuuzo ekibuuza nti tugenda kukola tutya okutegeera nti tukwataganira wamu omulamwa gwe tuba tuyisiza wano oba gwe tuba tuteesezzaako ffenna tugufolowinga enkya ne gutufuukira ekyo ekigenda okutuyamba mu maaso. Lwa nsonga nti tuteesa bannaffe bangi batulyamu enkwe ne weesanga nga kye tuteesezza wano ate bw'obasanga eyo gye bayita si kye baba boogerako. Y'ensonga lwaki kitulemesezza nnyo okuvaayo n'okubaako kye tukola ekigenda mu maaso. Ng'omukyalo oli bw'ayogedde n'agamba nti ye tagenda kulonda nga bannaffe bakyali mu makomera nga tewali oba okulonda nga bw'abyogeddeko byonna nga bwe mubiwulidde. Naye nze ŋŋamba nze nti tukwataganire wamu tumanye bannaffe ki bye tusobola okwogera nabo mu nsonga zaffe ez'enkyukakyuka. Nkozesezza Luganda ndowooza n'abalala bampulira bulungi. Tutambulire wamu tusobole okulaba nga tuggyako nakyemalira. Ku nkola eyabaddewo Kenya wano wennyini we nnyimiridde we njogerera ffenaffe tusobola okufuuka ekyokulabirako nga singa tuba tussa ekintu kimu era ng'ekyamazima kye tuliko tukikakasa nti tukyetaaga, twetaaga okukyusa obukulembeze. Nga mukama waffe bwe yagamba nti campaign teyinza bwe yayogera n'agamba nti waliwo campaign teyinza kukyusa bukulembeze naye okuggyako nga tutaddemu ebikolwa. Nze ŋŋamba tusituke twekembe tukwataganire wamu tulabe ki ekiyinza okukyusa ensi yaffe Uganda. Ne ku by'obukulembeze nga bwe tubyogerako nabyo tutunule twekkaanye baani be tulonda kubanga bangi nnyo abalondeddwa naye ate bamaze ne batutunda ne batulyamu olukwe. Nze bwe nti bwe mbadde nteesa bakomuledizi bannange simanyi oba ndi loud and clear mujja kuntereezaamu kaawo neyanza nnyo ssebo neyanzeege.
Tweyanziza nnyo Comrade Nanyonjo, message ebadde loud and clear. I'm gonna give the mic to Comrade Mimi and then we've got Comrade Madways will be next after that.
Thank you so much. Nze ndi muntu wa of course elections and Comrade Demi, that is my stand on that. Simu bubi naye nze omanyi ntunuulira ebintu bwe nti ne ŋŋamba nti bwe tutalonda bantu bafa. Mumanyi abafa bulijjo ndowooza basinga n'abo abafa mu elections. It does not matter.
But how do we minimize the body count that we lose?
It does not matter kubanga be tutalaba ku internet be banja abafa. Okitegeera ne webanga tebafudde nti babakubye masasi but some people are in the hospitals dying. Waliwo abali ekalamojja bafa njala. So it does not matter kyetutya nti no okuminimizinga abafa. I think abafa basinga n'abafa mu elections. Ekyokubiri, that is our right. The constitution wadde baagi hijacking gives us a right to vote, to go out there and vote. Ekyokusatu, amawanga gano gonna ag'ebwetu. There is no way you're not going to give, there is no way gy'otosobola kubawa evidence. Okulaga nti bannange nti ate tetwagenda mu election kubanga twamanya nti za kugira. They need evidence that you guys tried. You cannot just be there and just tell them nti ate twagenda kubanga already zaali sham. Bayitaaga evidence, and we need that evidence to show that the election was not transparent. N'ekyokubiri, we need that evidence okulaga nti nno ki baakabbye akalulu. Era byonna tubyetaaga nga evidence going down. Naye bw'otobeera ne evidence ne tugamba nti tetujja kagenda. We are not good. We have to go there. Ekyokuna, tulina okubeera mu parliament, tulina okusendinga representatives there kubanga there is no way tosobola kulwanira lutalo bweru wa nnyumba. You cannot, because you will not know what bills are passing. You will not know what things they are doing there. Senga tetwalina representatives recently ku bintu bya parliament bino. Would we have known if we didn't have any representatives there? Oba nga tulina representatives abali compromised ng'emyaka gino gyonna emirala egibaddewo, tulowooza tulina abantu. You think kitandise kati nti people balya? No, it started way back. Now it needed to get some people who are well groomed in transparency of getting parliament, okumanya nti parliament enege. Kati nze, to me, those arguments nga bwenzi kuwadde comrade wange Demi awo abantu tulina okugenda okwelectinga waakiri tulwanirire reforms whereby nti no akalulu tetukyayagala kano kabauti twagala babale bantu mu line. Waakiri, let us push for that. Let us push for that. Nti tulaba kati tulaba layini ya gundi nti oyo yawangudde. Kijja tumala transparency, buli omu avaawo amatidde, naffe abagamba nti no bakabbye tuvaawo tumatidde nti no omubaka waffe Mr. Ssenyonyi teyabadde n'abantu, layini yabadde bako babiri eya NRM, awo tukkiriza. Let us push for that. Let us push for the diaspora also to vote. Bintu ng'ebyo byonna tubipushinge mu kifo ky'okugamba byabakama be bali ku gundi. Let us push for those things we know. And let us not wait until elections. Naye tutandike kati to push those narratives. Nze yendowooza eyange. N'ekirala njagala correctinga something kyenjogedde ku MPs. Actually, Mr. Sebuganda corrected me. MPs, eyo gundi post ebadde going around, most of them come from Western is actually incorrect. Probably it's part of the propaganda. So I correct myself. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much, Comrade Mimi. I'll now give the mic to Comrade Madways.
Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, everyone.
Comrade Madways, can you turn up your mic, please?
Is the volume okay now?
Can you increase it slightly, please? Thank you.
How about now?
Yeah, it's clear. Thank you.
I was saying good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone is okay. Comedy Smile, thank you for the show, let me say, and thanks for everyone who has participated. For me, I'm going to talk about the campaign which is going on about the 23rd July 2024. Actually, this campaign started now. It's like today is the 14th or 15th day after what happened in Kenya, or what is happening in Kenya. But I don't want us to be, I don't want Uganda to think that we are copying Kenyans, because I remember it was late July Kakwenza came out on his Twitter, Twitter handle and said, Ugandans who are ready, who can march to parliament, get ready. So this was not after what is going on in Kenya. We are doing this as Ugandans. And we are doing this regardless our tribes or religions or parties. This is organized by Ugandans who decided to stay away from their political parties. And this is the cry most of us we've been having, that why can't we, if we want to liberate our country, why can't we first stay away from our political parties and we focus on liberating the nation? And thank God it is coming to pass. And it is very serious. Some people may say, Uganda because that has been the narrative always. But the top heads are feeling the heat. Why am I saying the top heads are feeling the heat? Parliament yali egenze mu kuwummulamu ng'egenda kudda on the 23rd of this month. But when these organization programs started, they decided to change, and Parliament, but I think this week on Tuesday, it is because of the heat. They're feeling the heat. These all comedies, may I call them comedies? We've seen the Parliament, the MPs are arrested because of corruption, everything they are saying with the fights which are going on. Personally, I call them comedy. Trying to divert what Ugandan is on what they are planning. And we are not focusing on them. We are not giving them space. We are not giving them time. What is being planned has no leader. No one is leading. Everyone is doing his or her own best. And it is progressing. Because they are feeling the heat. Because we are having Twitter spaces every day, morning to midnight. Now they have resorted to hacking them every time they are crashing the Twitter spaces. Every time they are crashing the Twitter spaces, meaning they are feeling the heat. We are getting many people coming in the spaces, threatening Ugandans, you can't do anything, what? You are going to be killed. We are giving them deaf ears. And there is Mr. Swibe talked about the letter Agola wrote to Museveni that they would wish to invite him on space and discuss, share views with the Ugandans.
Do we really want him there? We want him there.
That was yesterday's motion, and everyone was, how can we start discussing this motion here? We don't need him.
We don't negotiate with terrorists and murderers.
He had the chances for almost 40 years, and he didn't he didn't use that chance. We don't need, and actually, it's not the one we are going for. Someone said, the march to Parliament, we are not marching to a state house. Why are they rushing to bring in Museveni here? Let them first wait and see. What are we going to do in the state house? In the Parliament, because what is taking us to the Parliament is overt corruption. Unless they are saying is the one behind all the corruption. So,
please, as you're wrapping up, please.
As I'm wrapping up, the first 2 weeks we are finishing have been for mobilization, and now we are going on step 2, whereby we are putting in actions leading us to the 23rd. And from tomorrow, we put up a program whereby we are requesting Ugandans, those at home, those who are on ground, that at exactly every 1 p.m. they spare us 20 minutes off from work, and everyone make at least some noise wherever they are. I remember Dr. Vesige brought this idea some time back. It was kind of fun, though it didn't work out, but it was because this charmage byalimu politics byalimu bya FDC let's say program, but this program is not owned by any political party, and we are even in the spaces we are not allowing any political leader, even MPs, to engage with us. So everyone here spread the news, comes a message. 23rd July, we are going to Ja. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Comrade Madways. Yeah, so it's a national call out and it's starting tomorrow. If you have a whistle, a vuvuzela, a saucepan, anything to make noise at 1 o'clock from tomorrow, as leading up to the 23rd of July. Yes. Yes, okay. As we close, I'm going to give the mic to Comrade James William Mugenyi. Please unmute and speak to us. We're closing in 5 minutes, so please keep your remarks brief. And then I'll get Comrade Demi to close us out in the end, and then should be that's it.
Ebyo ndowooza owulira bulungi kati bannayuganda babuufu. President Kyagulanyi asomesezza abantu emirimu bano bagitegeera. Mulimu akyalina ku kamentalite ka General Museveni mbw ati tugenda mu kalulu tetulonda tubiveeko naye temubiveeko ogenda kukola ki? Mbunze ninze Museveni lwaliva kalivaako ddi, you going to wait till when? Bane tulina okwebereramu tubeere bantu bakulu. We have to fight every day. Singa bwekibadde nti leero sifunye ssente sijja kuddayo nkya kuzinoonya. You continue okuzinoonya paka lw'onaazifuna. Nesiga nti ssente bwe zikubula leero enkya toddamu kunoonya. Nti kubanga sizimbuze kinyenkya zijja kumbula. Bwe ziba zikubuze leero ddayo enkya zigwamu n'ozikuba n'ozifuna. So abawoza muno situgenda mu kalulu balimu abo bakolera Museveni. Eyo mentalite ya Museveni. Buli olaba sidda mu kalulu biki Museveni yali awo yazannya omuzannyo. Baagala okutulemesa okumala mu bantu maanyi kuba demoralizing. Nze sijja kulonda watolonde kalulu tugambira ki bireko sirikalo kyamacho era bwotuka mu kalulu tolonda. Niwano okugamba abantu tugenda tulonde tunyiibe tumala tukakuma akalulu tunyiige tujjeko Museveni. Abantu bagala situdda mu kalulu ne tuba solution. Mutulinde twekalakaase kati tutandika kale. Langi anno tugenza kwekalakaasa ogenda ku bantu mujje tugenda twekalakaasa. Abantu tojja kubasitula out of blue bantu bekalakaasa bantu baako ekibanyiizizza. Akalulu kano abantu kajja kubaluma bwe tubongera abantu bajja kutuka berenga bakifiiringa ki part of them bakabbe olabe bwalumba ng'alina kyalwanirira ate oba mateeka n'ensi yonna eba ekuli ku side yo kubanga oba kyolwanirira naye aloza okukolera ogenda wekalakaasa nti olwanirira ki naye mubeeremu nammwe. Buli olaba mbu sidda mu kalulu tudda mu kalulu oyo Museveni. Era tulina okubalwana ng'obudde bukyali abo bagenda babeere ne Museveni waabwe tebattawana. Baagala nnyo mwenna abaliko mwe bali kubaako. Omukama tunasaba nkume tujja kuba tuddamu banange mweraba.